Matthew chapter 25, the parable of the 10 virgins. Then the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish, thoughtless, silly, and careless, and 5 were wise, far-sighted, practical, and sensible. For when the foolish took their lamps, they did not take any extra oil with them, but the wise took a flask of oil along with their lamps. Now, while the bridegroom was delayed, they all began to nod off and they fell asleep. But at midnight there was a shout, "Look, the bridegroom is coming. Go out to meet him." Then all those virgins got up and put their own lamps in order, trimmed the wicks, and added oil and lit them. But the foolish virgins said to the wise, "Give us some of your oil, because our lamps are going out. Come help me do this, because I did not prepare." But the wise replied, "No, otherwise there will not be enough for us and for you too. So go instead to the dealers and buy oil for yourselves." But while they were going away to buy oil, the bridegroom came, and those who were ready went in with him to the wedding feast, and the door was shut and locked. Later the others came and said, "Lord, Lord, open the door for us." But he replied, "I assure you, most solemnly say to you, I do not know you. We have no relationship. Therefore be on the alert, be prepared and ready, for you do not know the day nor the hour when the Son of Man will come." And I love that, because those virgins were like in a crisis, and they're in a crisis, and they're like, what do I do? But it's like, when we're in a crisis, we want God in the middle of it. So make sure that you seek him through those times, through all the times. Parable of the talents. For it is just like a man who was about to take a journey, and he called his servants together and entrusted them with his possessions. To the one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, each according to his own ability. And then he went on his journey. The one who had received the 5 talents went at once and traded with them, and he made a profit and gained 5 more. Likewise, the one who had made 2 a profit and gained 2 more. But the one who had received the 1 went and dug a hole in the ground and hid his master's money. Now after a long time, the master of those servants returned and settled accounts with them. And the one who had received the 5 talents came and brought him 5 more, saying, "Master, you entrusted me 5 talents. See, I have made a profit and gained 5 more. His master said to them, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful and trustworthy over a little. I will put you in charge of many things. Share in the joy of your master." Also the one who had the 2 talents came forward, saying, "Master, you entrusted 2 talents to me. See, I have made a profit and gained 2 more. His master said, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful and trustworthy over a little. I will put you in charge of many things. Share in the joy of your master." You have to remember that everything belongs to God, that you are a steward, not an owner. So God expects his return on his investment, on your money. Remember that. When you're going to make money, it's not your money, it's God's money. Everything belongs to him. If you treat it as everything belongs to him, he expects a return on your investment. The one who had received 1 talent also came forward, saying, "Master, I knew you to be harsh and demanding man, reaping the harvest where you did not sow, and gathering where you did not scatter seed." Because he had a misconception of his master. "So I was afraid to lose the talent. I went and hid your talent in the ground. See, you have what is your own." But this is like so many times when you think about it with God, so many people have a misrepresentation of what they think God is. They think he's going to be wanting to hold out and not have to give. Just put it away and keep it safe. That's not how God is. But his master answered him, "You wicked, lazy servant, you knew that I reap the harvest where I did not sow and gather where I did not scatter seed. Then you ought to have put my money with the bankers, and at my return I would have received my money back with interest. So take the talent away from him and give it to the one who has the 10. For to everyone who has and values his blessings and gifts from God and has used them wisely, more will be given, and he will be richly supplied, so that he will have an abundance. But from the one who does not have, because he has ignored or disregarded his blessings and gifts from God, even when he does not have, will be taken away. And throw out into the worthless servant into the outer darkness. In that place of grief and torment there will be weeping over sorrow and pain and grinding of teeth over distress and anger." The gifted but lazy. The judgment. "But when the Son of Man comes in his glory and majesty, and all the angels with him, then he will sit on his throne of his glory. All the nations will gather before him for judgment, and he will separate them from one another, as a shepherd separates his sheep from the goats. And he will put the sheep on his right, the place of honor, and the goats on his left, the place of rejection. Then the king will say to those on his right, 'Come, you blessed of my Father, you favored of God, appointed to eternal salvation, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me with help and ministering care. I was in prison, and you came to me.' ignoring personal danger. Then the righteous will answer him, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? And when did we see you as a stranger and invite you in, or naked and clothe you? And when did you see you sick or in prison and come to you? The king will answer and say to them, I assure you, most solemnly say to you, to the extent you did it for one of the brothers of mine, even the least of them, you did it for me. Then he will say to those on his left, leave me, you cursed ones, into the eternal fire which had been prepared for the devil and his angels. Demons. For I was hungry and you gave me nothing to eat, and I was thirsty and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger and you did not invite me in, naked and you did not clothe me, sick and in prison and you did not visit me with help and ministering care. Then they also in their turn will answer, Lord, when did we see you this way? And he will reply to them, I assure you, most solemnly say to you, to the extent that you did not do it for one of the least of these, my followers, you did not do it for me. Then these unbelieving people will go away into eternal, unending punishment, but those who are righteous and in right standing with God will go by his remarkable grace into eternal, unending life. You know, I think about this a lot, and I think of it's so important to be faithful in seasons that you hate in your life, because we all go through seasons. We go through so many different seasons. Our life is not the same anytime. It always changes, and if it doesn't, maybe we need to seek God a little bit, because we are to have things like so we can learn to overcome and to grow and stretch our faith so that we can be changed as a person, grow closer and closer and more like Christ. So in those seasons that you hate, be faithful, and God will reward you for those times. This is your daily Bible chapter where we're reading God's word so we can grow closer and closer to him. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.